Stugotz here. The Dan Le Batard Show podcast is brought to you by Capital One. Capital One wants to build a better bank, one that feels and acts nothing like a typical bank. It's why they're reimagining banking by offering accounts with no fees or minimums and one of the best saving rates in America. You could open a Capital One account from anywhere in 5 minutes. That's banking reimagined. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Capital One, N.A.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, fatter? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness. And it's easier than ever with Ageless Male Max, a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction of body fat percentage than exercise alone. Plus, an amazing 64% increase in nitric oxide, which can be handy in the gym and in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max by trying your first 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. Not 10 days, not 15 days, but a full 30-day supply free when you text the word LIFT to 797979. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text LIFT to 797979. Text LIFT to 797979.
All right. I got some good news, and I got some bad news when it comes to the Canes. The good news is, Nkosi Perry and Cade Weldon got first-team reps yesterday.
Yeah. Nice.
The bad news, Rozier's still starting.
Rozier! Yeah, no, you got 3 out of the 5. 3 out of the 5 first.
The bad news is they suck. They're not back. You guys have been saying they're back. They're not back. That's the bad news.
Okay, look. The
good news is they're only 0-1
Guillermo
so
going
far.
macro there.
Yeah.
But we're considering not starting Rozier. I know he's starting against Savannah State, and the only reason these guys got reps is because he wants to get them action the next 3 games.
They got first-team reps, though, and Williams, the kid who should be the answer for Mark Richt at quarterback, got some second-team reps. Hopefully we see Williams play. The new red shirt rules allow for 4 appearances now, which I think is a good rule for the NCAA, so there is no doubt we should see Williams. Whether or not we will remains to be seen, but it would be really disappointing if you don't see the kid out there who apparently has all the talent in the world, is the most impressive from the position, but just doesn't know enough of the offense for Mark Richt to be comfortable.
I'm really surprised that more of the air isn't out of Mike's balloon, and he's still out here repping for.
Well, there was so much air before that he
I still got plenty of air.
You can't just, that's too quick to let all the air out.
I got all this hot air.
But my father came in yesterday to work and just said, "Boy, quick season for UM, huh?"
Yeah, your dad.
I feel like that's a lot of Miami.
Yeah, your dad trolling me kind of stung. But I think we need to get some altitude on this thing here, folks. Look, there's a step between sucking, as Billy put it, and Alabama. Okay?
They're defeated right now. They're completely defeated. They haven't won yet.
There's a difference.
They're losers.
There's a difference between being Alabama. We're clearly years away from that. And
I thought you were a year away from being a year away, and this year was the year.
No, I said I thought we were a year away from being a year away, and then then when we beat Virginia Tech and Notre Dame, I was like, okay, we're a year away. We're a year away from being a year away. Okay. We're a quarterback away.
So we're 3 years away now.
No. We're just 2 years away.
Okay.
Just 2 years away. Quarterback away from being a year away. All right? This team...
That's a big thing.
This team...
No, but that's Kansas.
No.
Kansas
they're at least 3 years away. They're at least 3 years away.
Guys, there's a difference between losing at a neutral site to a team that's been an SEC power for the last 2 decades, okay, and losing at home to Nicholls State. Let's try to be rational about this.
Well, let me ask you this question of you, the audience, because the one outlier that you could point to, UM lost that way the season that they won the national championship in 1983. They lost at Florida that way.
Yeah, I think they 33-3 or something like that.
It was something like that. And it was the first game of the season, and then from there they had the most historic season that started the run. I don't see anything to indicate that this is that.
No, it's not. But I was listening to the Shutdown Fullcast, and they said everything that I said yesterday, just funnier, and I think a little bit even more rational. It was such a bizarre game. It really was.
Because we got destroyed?
Well, we got destroyed, and honestly, I watched it back. I think Miami.
Why?
I watched it back because I was there.
He's become a film nerd, Guillermo.
I watched
He's
it.
looking for secrets between the tackles that prove to him, like a man panning for gold, like a miner, that proved to him that Miami's better than LSU.
I watched it back. First quarter, I thought Miami was a better team. The second quarter was disastrous. And they actually made a funny observation, which is Miami fell victim to just making all their mistakes consecutively. You could maybe survive that kind of game if you have those mistakes a little spread out.
Right.
But there was never a point I didn't feel like we were in that game until the pick six. And then it went from, we're still in this, to it's completely gone. It's completely gone. No team, I don't think even Alabama, and we are certainly not Alabama, no team can survive not having the ball beyond their own 30 when they're giving the other team the ball in at least 7 occasions at their own 40 or better.
Have you seen this Tua guy, though? They could probably do it.
No, Tua is incredible. Tua is incredible. We're not Alabama. Surprise, surprise. Our first team is good. If we play a perfect game like we did against Notre Dame, and our first team doesn't get suspended
I need some help.
or ejected or hurt.
I feel like the audience hates this you.
Yeah, well, they want me to just say the season's over and we suck. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fire Mark Richt. I'm not going to trash
But
Malik
it doesn't
Rozier.
have to be we suck and trash everybody. It also doesn't have to be we won the first quarter.
What do you want? It was a weird game.
Which you lost by 7.
It was a weird game. Guys, I was at the game. I was there.
You were wearing a giant orange cowboy
I'm sure your
hat.
mind was really
I was
clear,
there.
too, while you were watching
I was
this.
super
in it.
I was super clear. I had the all 22 cam working. My seats were incredible. All right. And by the way, I'm on Richards. Dan said he had nothing for Greedy Williams, and I was wrong in pushing back. He didn't, because he got hurt at the end of the first quarter. So he literally had nothing for him because he wasn't on the field. So I don't think that was a fair estimation on that performance, considering he caught one ball and we barely had the ball to go up against Greedy Williams. Here's what I'm saying. I know this sounds ridiculous because at one point we were down in that game 33-3.
Do you know it sounds ridiculous?
Yes, no, I do. I know what the national perspective is. Hell, Billy, they're down to number 22 in the nation because everybody.
Oh no, they went in 3 hours from a national team to a local team.
Because everybody that tuned into that game and was into it through the first quarter, we became a laughingstock. We undid everything against Virginia Tech, everything against Notre Dame. We went from a team that was holding court at the Hard Rock Stadium, a team that was on the rise, to a team that's just embarrassed itself against Pitt. When the national audience is tuned in over the last 4 games, they have embarrassed themselves against Pitt, when they had an opportunity to be the number 1 team in the nation. This wasn't that long ago, folks. Yeah. This was Thanksgiving. If they win that game, they are probably the number 1 team in the nation. They had the nation's longest winning streak at 17 games. Now they've lost 4 in a row in pretty embarrassing fashion, in a way that's pretty shocking in terms of points that they're putting up against their defense. Everybody wants me to be rational when I'm on the other side. Here I am being rational, not firing Mark Richt, not trashing the kid Rozier, because he is what he is. I will be very disappointed in Fiegels, and he should not have that job. He simply shouldn't. I don't know what his family has on us. I don't know if this is a booster situation. Fiegels is killing us.
This is the part that I believe the audience hates about you, which is, I'm very disappointed in Fiegels. Like, I don't understand you.
But it's an unfair game. You understand that, right? If Louisiana State is playing on a field that's 30 yards shorter each and every time, no matter how limited their offense is, all they need is a penalty to get in scoring position, and they did that at the beginning. It was just a bizarre game.
What I don't understand about what you're doing, though, is Miami, that pick 6 is a disaster play, and that ended that football game. But what I don't understand about what you're doing is, do you not think LSU plays that whole second half differently if they're not up 33-3? Like, don't you think they would actually try to do stuff as opposed to, oh, we know these guys aren't going to go down and score 4 touchdowns on us, so we'll just sit here and play this silly football, caveman football.
Maybe they take an occasional one more shot against Javonte Dean. I thought their game plan was pretty consistent. They got one big run. The running game was fine outside of that, but Miami outgained them. And if you look at that chop block, it was a beautiful play in terms, I'm not even sure all the blocks were legal.
Outgained them, Mike?
Yes. Outgained them by...
no, but who cares?
Well, I mean, this helps my argument in saying it was just a bizarre game. Will you give me that? The way that it broke was just totally weird.
Auburn had a stat line this weekend that didn't make sense. I don't think they rushed for 150 yards. They won anyway. They don't win that way anymore. Auburn, if we're sitting here talking about outgained, Washington could sit here and tell us about how they outgained Auburn. But at least that was a close game, Mike. At least that was close.
Yeah.
Everyone turned their television off at halftime on LSU, Mike.
I know, but the thing is, it wasn't this 33-3 blowout. It was for a little bit, but that was a 2-score game. There was actually excitement in the Miami student section, and I don't think the nation realizes that was a 2-score game. And I think you see it in the polls because Miami dropped to 22, and you saw LSU's rise. It really doesn't make much sense. We go out to Stugotz, who's on the guest line. What's up, Stugotz?
Oh, for the love of God, will you shut up? I'll hang up and listen.
That's a national narrative, man.
You act like the field position thing is a fluky thing. The reason we had poor field position is because we didn't play well, though. Like, you're acting like that. Like, oh, we never were.
No, we were playing fine. The punter was kicking 20-yard punts. What do you want Mark Richt to do?
If you play better, the punter doesn't punt.
Well, understood. That's a fine point, but these are two. We expected a defensive battle and a field position game. And when you're spotting them 30 yards, it's not a minor thing, guys. It's not a minor thing when this team is going 3 and out and a penalty saves them and it puts them right into field goal position. It's not a minor thing at all when you pin them back in their own end zone and you have an opportunity to make it a 2-score game at the time, and you could have helped make that maybe a 1-score game towards the tail end and made it a real game, a real affair, which doesn't have you ranked number 22, and you get that weird punt situation where the kicker flops, and then the weird penalty where the guy's trying to just hop over a block, gets pushed up in the air and upended. That's 15 yards right there. Against a very talented defense, field position matters. It does, and when your punter's consistently putting you in that spot.
Will one of you guys shut him up? Will one of you guys reach in and shut him up?
I just want to give him a hug.
You guys want to just stare at him?
Sad.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'm giving you rational counterpoints as to why you should look at this game rationally.
Doesn't sound very rational.
And you're just telling me that we suck. Why doesn't it sound rationally? Why don't I sound rational? What doesn't sound rational about this?
You sound like a crazy ex trying to figure out why you were broken up with.
You should take up yoga.
Look, you guys aren't doing me any favors because you guys are just like, this is open and shut. They suck, and I'm here trying to explain away and give good info.
The world's not over.
We got 3 games in a row, man.
Exactly. They have 3 games.
Cupcakes.
Well,
the
FIU game is not going to be an easy affair.
They're going to destroy FIU. They're going to destroy everybody.
Game for Butch.
They're going to destroy everybody on their schedule.
These
for
rankings,
the
these
future.
rankings don't matter, right?
No, they don't.
It's a joke.
Thank you.
You just
Billy.
need to get into the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you're 22, so stop freaking out about being 22. Who cares?
Thank you, Billy, because this sport is more knee-jerk reaction than any sport we got. It is one of the major sports. It has surpassed baseball. 4 major sports in this country. College football is one of them, okay? And it is by far the craziest in knee-jerk reaction. Again, Miami would have been number 1 in the country had they beat Pitt.
But this wouldn't have mattered either. Because they would have lost to Clemson. So who cares if you're 1 and then you get exposed to fraud later on?
Well, because they might have been able to survive and they have injuries and that wasn't exactly a fair fight. But Clemson is also much better. All right? Clemson's much better. And yes, we were a bit of a fraud last year because the Georgia Tech win and the Florida State wins where Rozier showed you his guts. In retrospect, in terms of the national narrative that built, these losses to LSU seem a lot more disappointing. I get, I'm sick of just being labeled as Homer Mike when I'm trying to explain away what happened.
Don't say I'm disappointed in the punter and that Rozier showed me his guts.
Hold the punter accountable. Hold the punter accountable.
That's fine. Mike.
He's been terrible. He's been terrible throughout. He's been terrible throughout his entire career.
Yes.
Rozier has had moments. He's had several moments.
I want Weldon.
Give
Weldon a chance.
I can't.
What have you seen about Weldon?
I don't know. You just obviously haven't seen anything.
Just that he's not
I've seen Rozier. I've seen Rozier, and you know what you're going to get with Rozier. Inaccurate.
I am just stupefied by the lack of self-awareness, the blind spot.
I feel like I sound so clear right now.
In you being for the last, I don't know how many months, 8 months, that a lunatic about this football team devouring every morsel of information studying the third team depth chart.
Still am.
That you're sitting here on Wednesday.
Hightower looked great.
And all you're talking about is the punter. Again.
We didn't talk about him enough yesterday, Dan. We didn't talk about him enough. Let me get you this stat. I'm going to go through Mike's likes. Going through Mike's likes. Thank you, Roy.
He's absolutely right. Fiegels has been terrible his entire career. His entire career. Find that stat. Go ahead and find it. Uh-oh.
I thought this was supposed to be an easy game.
Yeah,
I didn't know what they were doing on offense.
I did.
This team is a mess.
LSU had a bunch of issues.
I'm going to find this stat, and you're going to be apologizing to me.
That's never going to happen.
The craziest stat yesterday was that
here we go. Here's the stat.
They've had 57 made field goals in a row against them. That's a stat.
Come on! The game is cheating. Unplug it.
That is a great stat.
This kicker was a D2 transfer.
College kickers are so bad.
A 57 that shuts a door on the game? 4 for 4 from a D2 transfer? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, man? Here, courtesy of Josh Darrow, who's Five Rings podcast on the Five Reasons Network, is actually quite enjoyable. He had the legend Joe Z on there, and I learned a lot.
It seems like they're teaching you the wrong thing.
Just going through the stats. Miami's best starting field position was its own 30. That's not good when you're playing a great defense.
That's not luck, though. That's because they were bad.
No, it is luck when it becomes a punter. It's luck when it becomes a punter. I understand if Fiegels is booming a 45-yard net punt on it, but these are shanks. These are shanks that are going 22 yards.
Oh, nobody's disputing that he's not terrible, Mike.
Well, don't tell me that it's because the team is bad when
if
you can't
the team
control
is
that.
good, the punter doesn't punt. The punter doesn't punt if the team is good.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Check how many times Alabama punted going up against Georgia. We're talking about an elite SEC defense with NFL picks all over the way. You guys sound nuts.
What
anyway,
LSU
had
do
possession.
We say to make this sense?
LSU had possession. Mike's right.
Okay, Mike's right. Can we move on now?
Right. Thank you.
You're both right.
Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Let's talk about buying a home for a minute. Because of rising interest rates, there's a lot of unpredictability when it comes to buying a home these days. It's causing a lot of anxiety and stress for a lot of people. Well, our friends at Quicken Loans are doing something about that. They're calling it the power buying process. Here's how it works. Quicken Loans will verify your income, your assets, and credit in less than 24 hours to give you a verified approval. That gives you the strength of a cash buyer. Then once you're verified, you qualify for their all-new exclusive Rate Shield approval. This is very cool here. First, they'll lock your rate up for 90 days while you shop. Now, here's the best part. If rates go up, your rates stay the same. But if rates go down, your rate also drops. Either way, you win. It's the kind of thinking you'd expect from America's largest mortgage lender. To get started, simple. Go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. Rate Shield approval, only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply based on Quicken Loans data in comparison to public data records. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Is The Undertaker the best name in the history of wrestling? 66% of the audience said yes.
No, you're just wrong, man. It's a monsoon of gorillas.
Stugotz.
It's not just a monsoon. It's not just a gorilla. It's a monsoon of gorillas. How could there be a better name than Gorilla Monsoon? Like, how could you people be so wrong about this? What is the matter with you people? The Undertaker cannot be a better name than Gorilla Monsoon. A monsoon, not a tsunami, not a storm, not a thunderclap. A damn monsoon of gorillas.
It's a haystack of Calhouns.
Wow.
Not as impressive as a monsoon of gorillas.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket. Time for sports radio segment. Assault as time. Let's talk sports with Naked Chris.
That's right. You heard the man. It's back. I got a lot of stuff to get to, so I want to do this quick. I'm Naked Chris. This is my segment. We talk about what I want to talk about. No shoes, no shirt, no underwear. I'm wearing my hat because that's my thing. No pants either.
No shoes?
That's right. No shoes today. Floors are clean.
No
Floors
shoes.
are clean.
I listened to the Open, right? And Bobby says, let's talk sports.
Yeah.
We haven't really done that.
We sprinkle it in.
Okay.
I got a lot of things I want to get off my chest today. It's been a while. Been a couple weeks.
Hurricanes talk?
No. We covered that last time.
I didn't finish my Josh Darrow set.
No.
You
Yeah,
sure?
get out of here.
No, I mean, it was pretty good.
If you're new to the Naked Chris segment, this is what we do. I throw out the topics, we digest it, and then we give it out to you. We want to hear from you on the Naked Chris segment. So at the end of every topic, we're going to let the listeners in your car give your thoughts. And then we'll move on. First topic. When I'm at Publix or I'm shopping and I'm in the produce section, when I'm picking out apples or tomatoes, I feel like people are judging me when I'm inspecting all of them. Like, am I allowed free reign just to touch any tomato, any apple I want? Because anytime I'm always looking over my shoulder because I feel like people are judging me.
Are you asking if you're allowed to touch the fruits? Yeah, you're allowed to touch the fruits before you buy them.
But that's kind of gross. If everyone...
You wash them before you eat them. Like, when you buy fruits, you should wash them because other people have touched them also.
So you just rinse them through the water and you think that that's just getting every germ off of them. Just a quick little rinse.
What is your suggestion? Like, what's the other way of doing this?
I think that you try to buy fruit and produce with as little touching as possible. I think is the proper way.
Okay.
So basically what you're saying is just a visual aspect of it. Just look at them.
Roy's eating grapes right now.
And I rinsed these.
Right. And you think that fully cleaned them?
It might not, but it helps.
Am I the only one that you guys don't feel insecure? You have free reign. You touch any tomato you want.
When it comes to produce, I think Miami's best starting field position was its own 30.
I'm confused. Are you pro-touching or anti-touching? Because you said you touch them, but you don't like other people touching them. So you want to touch them yourself.
I do touch them, but I always feel like I'm being judged. Maybe it's just my own neurosis.
It's understandable that you feel like people are judging you because LSU had possessions that started at the UM 47, own 42, own 44, own 44, Miami 41, own 48.
Audience, give us your thoughts. Do you guys touch produce? Do you judge people for touching produce? Moving on. Why don't grapes taste like grape-flavored things?
You're saying, like, why don't grape candy, grape soda, grape whatever taste like grapes, the fruit?
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird because cherry things taste like cherries, apple things taste like apples, but yet grape-flavored, like a grape-flavored push pop doesn't taste like grapes.
I feel very closed off from this Naked Chris segment.
I think that what it is that grapes individually, and I mean, I'm no grape expert, but grapes individually don't seem to really taste, like, to me, grapes just taste wet, but, like, if you crush a bunch of grapes together, you can make wine, and that has a taste, but that's also, like, alcohol.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like, I don't know.
That's a good question, right?
It's a great question. It's better than the first
what we do here on the Naked Chris segment.
It's not just because you're ignoring my solid University of Miami analysis. It's because I don't eat fruit.
All right.
Why don't you eat fruit?
I don't like fruit.
Because people are touching it?
No, I don't like. I think my favorite fruit is a tomato.
Oh, Roy?
Do you have trouble pooping?
No.
Fruit helps that.
It does?
Yeah.
I've heard, but no, I like citrus. Citrus is a fruit, I guess. I could eat an entire lemon.
Roy?
I brought fruit here today, so yes, I like
You
fruit.
actually have grapes right there.
Yes, and a banana.
Do you agree with my premise that they don't actually taste like grape-flavored things?
I mean, fruit-flavored things don't really taste like the actual fruit anyway.
Well, I disagree. Like an apple-flavored blow pop tastes like apple.
Boom.
Yeah, but apple-flavored Crown Royal doesn't taste like apple. It tastes like a Jolly Rancher.
Got a hint of apple.
I just think fruit is kind of icky. Even veggies, I cook them. I don't like the idea. I know it's super fresh and from the earth, but I don't like that it's not processed in any sort of way.
Right.
I don't feel like it's safe. I don't like the way it feels in my mouth. I don't like any of those things. I can't be alone in this.
I don't think this topic really goes out to the audience. What are they going to give me their thoughts on grape-flavored things? So we're just going to move on.
Well, that's how all the topics are.
Not fair.
Moving on. When you guys are driving, I know we probably all have this because we get here early in the morning. Sometimes on the way home in the afternoon. You're driving, you get that sleepy feeling. You guys know what I'm talking about? Where you just like feel like you're going to fall asleep and you got to do something, whether it's, give yourself a little slap in the face, turn your music up, something to like get you out of that funk so you don't crash your car. In fact, there's probably someone driving right now who has that feeling. Hey, wake up! Hey, wake up! Naked Chris says, wake up!
Oh, that worked.
It did. I guarantee you there's one person driving right now that had that feeling. They're like, whoa.
You backed away, though, and it was like a very low wake up. Like, you should be, like, if you're going to try to, shock them and wake them up, you should be, like, right up in the mic. Like, hey,
wake up!
Like
wake up!
Yeah.
He, unlike you, cared about, like, the sonic aspect of the radio show and don't want to peak.
Yeah.
But we're trying to save someone's life here. They're falling asleep while they're driving. Wake up!
My question here.
He's pretty bad at that. He's
No, he's not.
historically bad at the
I can guarantee you people are awake now.
The question here is, what is your guys' cure? When you're feeling that feeling and you got to get home, you got a half-hour drive still, what do?
I chew gum.
That's good. Mine is that if I'm not listening to music, or let's say I have radio on, I change it up. I'll put on a song that I gotta like sing. So it brings I'll start doing a little concert in my car to really wake myself up. Billy?
I remember one instance where it was really dangerous. I probably shouldn't have been driving. It was when I was an intern. I was interning at Channel 4, and I had a Monday Night Football game against the Jets. And we were at the stadium until 1 or 2 in the morning because we were getting sound and stuff afterwards. I was there with, the camera guy, Louis Bala. And then we ended up going back to the station, and then I had to intern in the morning for Sedano, and I had to be there at 5:30
these
in the morning.
important details for your
Yeah, it
remedy?
is. Yeah, it is
The
important.
cameraman's name was Louis Abala?
Yeah, Louis Bala.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sweet. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Continue.
Needed
So-
that detail.
Yeah. So then I was driving, and I only had an hour to sleep, and I was falling asleep while I was driving. I'm like, this is really dangerous. So I kept biting my knuckles.
Biting your knuckles?
Yeah, I was
never
causing
tried that.
myself physical pain, and then I realized this is way too much work.
decent.
I
I'll try
probably
that.
should have just
Maybe I'll try
taken
that
the
next
day
time.
off from one of them.
I tell you what doesn't help is having corrective lenses in your eye, and you know this, Billy. It dries your eyes out.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help. But what I do is just I keep the radio up loud. Keep it up loud.
Turn it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Audience?
What do you guys do when you're getting that sleepy feeling while you're driving? All right.
Save someone again.
Moving on. In sports, I heard Mike say this a couple weeks ago, and I wrote it down in my notes. In sports, why is being washed or washed up considered a bad thing? Because to me, it just sounds lovely. Billy?
I don't know. I don't know.
Washed up.
Are you saying that it should be referred to as, oh, he's dirty?
Right, because when I get washed up, I feel great. Every night I get washed up, and I'm relaxed. I'm more comfortable than I was before.
We got to look up the origins because it is bizarre on the surface,
Mm-hmm.
and it just seems commonplace because it's a part of our cliches.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of our sports cliches, but I don't know how something becoming washed. Well, I know where washed came from, the term washed up, but what's washed up? Maybe something washed up ashore,
Right.
Something old that's been battered by the salty sea. Could that be it?
We'll circle back. Moving on.
You're not going to ask the audience or Roy?
Well, until we have an answer.
Roy's hard at work looking it up.
All right, audience.
What do we think of BLTs? Are you guys pro or anti BLT? The sandwich.
Bacon, lettuce, tomato?
Yeah.
I'm anti-BLT.
Anti BLT.
Yeah.
Mike, pro or anti BLT?
I'm pro because, as I told you, my favorite fruit is the T in the BLT.
Yeah. I'm a big BLT guy.
Do you
Billy.
like lettuce? Do you like salads? Because you don't like fruits.
I love salads. Actually, I know you can't tell by looking at me. Naked Chris is a big fan of
Mike, do you like lettuce?
I can get down with lettuce. Roy's found the origins of washed up.
At the end of the day's work, a factory worker usually washes his hands. From the motion of washing hands after finishing a job came the expression all washed up.
Oh,
So it's like you're finished.
Yeah, if you're washed up, you're done with your job.
right. Okay. Cool. BLTs. Billy, you don't like BLTs. Why?
I don't like lettuce and tomatoes. I like, when I order food, I order it plain.
Yeah, you are that guy. Like a burger, no lettuce, no tomato.
One time, me and Louis Abala went to Burger King, and I ordered a plain burger. He got the lettuce and tomato.
Moving on. Actually, first audience, what do you guys think of BLTs? Moving on. What are our thoughts on dogs licking / kissing our faces?
Hate it.
You
It
have
wasn't
a
my
dog?
turn. It wasn't my turn.
Do
Sorry.
you have a dog?
No, it's not my turn. I don't want to break the format.
No, do you have a
No,
dog?
you can get to me. Get to me.
I'm asking
you do your thing first, and then get to me.
No, I'm asking you. Do you have a dog?
Okay. Yeah.
And
Mini. Mini Gill.
Mini Gill does not lick your face.
No, I don't like it. I don't like any licking, to be honest with you. I'm not pro licking.
I'm judging you.
Why? You like a dog licking your mouth? That's disgusting.
I mean, I'm not opening my mouth, but a little lick.
On your mouth?
Yeah.
No, gross.
Someone back me
where
up.
that tongue has been?
It's
Dog
isn't there a
butts.
saying that dogs have cleaner mouths than humans?
I mean, yeah, but there's all kinds of sayings that aren't true.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's true, but it's been said.
You're gonna
Mike,
start making out with dogs because of the
I'm
saying?
not making. I actually had a friend growing up who would like open his mouth and kiss his dog.
Gross.
Yeah, that's weird.
I won't open mouth kiss my dog. I won't let my dog lick me for extended periods of time. But a quick peck, it's one of the tricks that she knows. Roma, kiss.
Yes.
Kiss. She'll give me a little peck. And I think it's
what is like going
super
on
heartwarming.
in the deep realms of your soul that makes you so insecure?
It doesn't make me insecure. It's disgusting that a dog goes around licking butts and other private areas.
I mean, there's a lot
dogs.
of things that are disgusting. Like you kiss your fiance.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are sharing saliva. Like that could be.
I wasn't licking dog butts before.
Roy, pro or anti?
I don't own a dog, and anti.
Okay, but like, have you ever had a dog or ever been around dogs?
I've had a dog before, yes.
And you never?
No.
All right, so we're 2-2 here.
But my Roma's she's a whippet. She's got a very tiny tongue.
Yeah.
So it's cute.
It's adorable. There's nothing.
How much
cuter
damage could that do?
Yeah, there's nothing cuter than a little doggy kiss.
Audience,
pro or anti dogs licking / kissing your faces?
Why are you naked?
It's my thing. It's the only way I could get my own segment. So I pitched something crazy. We want to do things different. And
do you like dog clothes? Sorry, Naked Chris.
No.
No?
Anti that. Even on Halloween.
Really? No costumes for dogs on Halloween?
I have done it. I've given in and been part of that.
But like you, dogs should be naked.
Right.
Got it.
And finally here on the Naked Chris
What about
segment
doggy
today-
hats? Sorry.
No. Anti.
But you like hats for you.
I do.
And socks. What about doggy shoes?
Nope.
Oh, got it.
No more talking for you.
Sorry.
And wrapping up here on the Naked Chris segment today, people who say touche and cool beans. Don't do that.
Audience?
That's it? Wait, you're going to ask
that
around?
signal, I thought we were going to go to
No,
break
I know
there.
you did like a honking
Yeah, what is
horn
that?
signal, but typically
You're not going to ask
you
about
go
it?
around.
That was just like a
I probably should have
proclamation.
prepped you guys on this. I thought
Yeah.
that today's Naked Chris segment would just be punctuated by a thought by me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you should have told
Try
us
it again,
that.
try it again, try it again.
Yeah.
People who say touche and cool beans. Don't do that.
Was that
Guys,
that's a sign?
I'm doing the signal again.
That was a cue?
All right.
I like cool beans.
I like saying touche.
Touche is... I like cool beans more than touche.
Don't do that.
Let the audience chime in.
Wait, what about Roy?
Yeah, let
You
Roy
have to ask
chime in.
Roy. Why are you...
So I guess we're not punctuating.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
Audience?
Audience?
Mikey C likes Naked Chris, by the way.
Who doesn't? Billy, I'm going to stand up.
Whoa!
That is your penis.
Was that the punctuation?
Was that your penis?
That was the punch.
Talk to you later, everybody.
So now it's done?
Are you guys
Was
just
that
not
the
going to
end?
end this
No,
segment?
no,
I've been trying to end this segment for like 2 minutes now.
You didn't
Please.
do the sign
You
yet.
didn't do the sign there.
You know, you just
like you could have
stand
said
up and
back
do
after
it.
this
Yeah.
and on the sign.
Yeah.
We established
I want to
that
have my
that's
own
how-
out.
Make your
I want to
point.
have my own out.
Well,
Make
you
your
showed me
point.
your penis, and then I was like, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
Naked Chris, out.
You're not
Make
doing
the-
the arm
and you
thing.
didn't make the point.
End
You
the
didn't make the
segment already.
You just
make
say
the point.
naked Chris out, and then like honk
Soon
the
I'm
horn.
just going to walk out of the room.
Make the point, stand up, do the sign, say Naked Chris out after your point, and then that's it, I think.
People who say touche and cool beans. Don't do that.
You need to stand up now.
You
Chris,
didn't
All right,
even
sit
say
down.
Out.
one more time.
No. You're forgetting. You got
You're
distracted.
forgetting.
You're
You got
waving at
distracted.
Allison.
You waved
I
at
don't know what's
Allison.
going
You're the
on.
host. You're directing traffic.
Come on,
Audience?
man. Be professional.
Audience?
Naked Chris.
Audience, give us your thoughts on cool beans and touche.
No, you're not asking them
End
this time.
the segment.
You're not doing the arm
You
thing.
need to make the point,
Yeah.
stand up, do the sign, and then say back after this, and then it's done.
with a honking sign.
Yeah. One only. You did
Yeah,
two last
yeah.
time. That
You did
threw
with
everybody
both
off.
arms.
Yeah, one only.
People who say touche and cool beans.
Now you're a bobblehead.
Don't do
Yeah.
that.
You sound like Pablo now. You're doing two arms again.
No, it's
Naked
one off.
Chris, out.
Ow. Yep, you guessed it. I'm a speed bump, so I've got one job. I slow you down. So imagine how I feel about Geico, who does way more. Like, not only could they save you money on car insurance, but they've been around for over 75 years, giving people fast and friendly claim service. Ow. Plus, they got a nifty mobile app that gives you 24/7 access. Ow. Just doing my job, buddy.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Don Le Batard.
He and I hugged vigorously upon seeing each other because it's been a long time since we saw each other. Well, I've had too much to drink at this point, but I'm also just fingering. What the hell word was I trying to say there? Lingering is the word I was looking for. My lingering hug with.
It is an awkward hug.
Yeah.
Well, and now the story gets good.
Stugotz.
Now I'm explaining to them in his company by holding up next to his face my phone with a magazine article I wrote about him next to his face. And it's got a happy ending. Well, that's not the phrase I should use either.
Geez, God, man.
Jeez. The story has a
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
All right, so we have this show fantasy league. We had the draft yesterday, and Lorenzo is the commissioner of this league, and we've been basically everyone hates Lorenzo for how he botched this whole process. The draft was rescheduled like 42 times.
He's the worst.
He's the worst. But now he's done something that's really, like, I've been on his side this whole time because I get it. It's hard to get 14 people together. The draft switching, I'm okay with that. I was okay with all that. But now I see he's switched our league to divisions, Stugotz. It used to just be one division. He made our league have divisions. That is my least favorite thing in fantasy football. Divisions are created in real football for travel. We're playing fantasy football. We're not going anywhere. Why is there divisions in our fantasy football league? Lorenzo, I'm coming for you. I'm angry.
He's going to call in, so we have to decide now as a group if we're going to take his call, because he's going to try to get it on the show. And while we all want to yell at him, I don't know if we want to hear him talk. May sound dumb. Dan, you're probably the only one here that knows the answer to this. What is Remus and Romulus? Because those are the names of the divisions. Is that like a
it was at Rome? How Rome was formed? Because
I believe that's it. Yeah,
from a lobo, because they went to a wolf, which could be known as a lobo, and they fed at the teat of the lobo.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's the Roman.
Is that true? Is that right?
What does this have to do with anything?
Well, because those are the names of divisions.
Why is he doing this? Inevitably, one division's going to be weaker, and someone that should have been in the playoffs under the original format is going to get shut out because he wanted to make a Rome
the world's
joke.
least efficient person.
He also has the most in his head that you don't need out of anyone I know. Like, he has the most useless things in his head of anyone I know.
That's correct, and they just spill all over the place. He doesn't have an editor, and this is what he does whenever he touches anything. Uses 1 million words when he can use 5.
He wants to use budget to make little kids race for a draft order no one gives a bleep about, which could just end in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. We don't have budget for anything around here.
Here we
and
go.
He wants to use it. I don't want to.
Oh, he's calling in?
I want to hear. Let's hear from him.
No one
Please.
wants to hear his
I need an explanation for
no
this.
No one wants to hear
any conversation with him, by the way, will go on 40 minutes. Like, if you pick up the phone, you know for a fact it's going to be a 45-minute call. And at a certain point,
I never do.
Every time I call him at a certain point, around the 37 to 42-minute mark, I go, Lorenzo, what is this call about?
Why is Stugotz complaining about Lorenzo? He fixed the entire draft for Stugotz, who showed up a half hour late to the draft, and the entire thing was paused. Go on auto pick like everybody else.
I was right on time, man. I clicked on the link, and it did not take me to the homepage.
This is the second straight year. The second straight year. No one believes you.
No.
No one believes you.
I've earned that. I mean, I don't expect you guys to believe
it on
me.
your app.
I'm just telling you that I was there on time. I clicked on the link that he sent out. It did not land on our homepage. I didn't know I had to sign in.
You log in.
I don't know what my login is. I mean, come on.
You just wanted Gurley. You had the first pick. Bell was the first guy on the thing, so you didn't want Bell. So you called Lorenzo and you used your power and you're like, pause this draft, even though it should never be paused.
I will be out now. I don't know if Lorenzo's coming on here. I did not call Lorenzo. He was calling me. I just figured, listen, I can't sign on here. I'm just going to end up getting Le'Veon Bell. I knew how the rankings were. I knew Le'Veon Bell was ranked number 1.
Oh, God. Are Remus and Romulus, are they Star Trek? Is it Star Trek? No. Or is it Sons of Rome?
It's some sort of goblin something, I bet you anything.
No, it's
some sort of fantasy world
Rome
thing.
And a Lobo. Lauren, you're there. Explain.
Dan, I thought you, of all people, the most cultured of individuals in that room, would know.
Enough.
Okay, I already regret this.
Honestly, why are you putting him on the air?
Do you think if I put the phone pod up, he's still talking?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it'll be
you uncultured swine.
Turn it down. Get him out of here.
He could have said what it was already.
He could have. I'm going to give him one more chance. Real quick, 5 seconds or less. Explain it.
They suck at the teat.
Yeah. I explained
What does that mean?
Why is there divisions?
Why are there divisions?
What does that mean?
Why are there divisions?
You don't know?
What kind of? That's where he's speechless.
Sounds like me.
That's where he's speechless.
Why do we have divisions?
This yammering knob.
We never had divisions. Why? Because you wanted to make a Roman mythology
Lorenzo,
joke?
$2. Get out of here.
Yeah!
Go to hell, man.
Say hi to Art Briles when you get there.
Doesn't have any idea why he's got divisions. That's the one time he's speechless.
He's created division, all right. But it's us against him.
Oh, man, is Lorenzo going to be at Charlie's
It
wedding?
should be him against that. Like, the division should be Lorenzo and everyone else.
You guys are going to Charlie's wedding. The four of you are going, right? You going as a package deal? The shipping container? That's a party right there.
Man, Lorenzo's probably going to be at our table.
He is at our table. I know that for a fact. He's at our table.
He's not giving a speech, is he?
You know what? He is the guy that stands up and gives a speech on his own.
God, no.
Right.
He's definitely the guy
God, no.
he
That
definitely
would
is going
be
to tap the glass.
wedding
for
ruiner.
kisses.
Yeah.
That'll ruin love. Lorenzo will ruin love if he starts to talk it.
What kind of wedding are we expecting? Because I'm expecting, the ball from Beauty and the Beast where Belle was wearing the flowing yellow dress?
Yeah, nicer than that.
That sort of ballroom. Nicer?
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting.
Big royal wedding.
Yeah. He's going to have medals.
Well,
on
for
his
those of you who
jacket.
don't know, Old Money Charlie was working on this show for a while back when it was on Fusion Television. And then we all discovered that Granddad is like a huge power broker in sports and beyond and has a lot of money. And then next thing we know, Charlie's courtside at every event in the world. And so now his
Flying
wedding.
private.
No, and right. And so now there's a genuine curiosity of
Goodell's going to be there. Goodell's going to be there.
Is
Stugotz,
Charlie
I can't
going to
believe you're not
show
going.
out at the wedding with just a who's a who of sports people? Steph Curry, Skyping in to give a toast.
The Crafts will be there, obviously.
Even us, all guests are being flown out private. Like, we have a private jet coming for us, so.
He's calling again. I'm not going to answer it. No, Lorenzo. No. Unless it was Charlie. I am curious to hear from Charlie as far as how his wedding's
what are you guys
go.
thinking? Are you guys thinking this is a blowout wedding situation?
No, it's going to be small and understated, Dan. Get out of here. Please.
I want to know what Charlie thinks small and understated is, too. Just 500 guests.
So do I.
Real tiny.
How many forks are we going to have at our table? Oh,
I say
God.
3
correct
forks.
question.
3 forks.
Wow.
I think 3 forks.
There's going to be an escargot fork. Yeah. 4 forks.
Yeah.
4.
That's the over-under. That's the over-under.
Forks.
Over. Definitely.
What'd you go, beef or chicken?
I would be.
Surprise, both.
Both. Hey, the vampires on Get Up.
Oh, my God.
The vampire's out in the light. The vampire's out in the light.
Guys, the shade is open. I mean, he's dangerously close to a window, and the shade is open.
He's trying to prove to us that he's not a vampire. Patino's on Get Up. He got up and he's out in the morning in the morning light.
I know about that studio, though. It's a fake shade. The shade's real, but it's not a real window. It's just a TV screen that's designed to look like a window.
Looks like real water.
Yeah, well, it's a camera that's projected at the real view that's right outside that would-be window.
Well, let me ask you guys something. The caption on Rick Pitino, it says enshrined in Basketball Hall of Fame in 2013.
I got a few more captions that I would have.
Took him long enough. I mean,
That's the only time someone said that about Rick Pitino. Get it?
Wow.
It's a sex joke.
Guillermo, I'm so down on you. Stugotz, how about this?
On me?
Listen to me.
Oh,
Listen
God,
to me.
here we go.
I think the audience is going to find this as offensive as I do. We'll find out together. So I come in here with a shirt, and Guillermo's making fun of me because the shirt has a Volkswagen emblem on it. And then I send him a picture of the Beastie Boys, and and one of them is wearing a chain with a Volkswagen emblem on it. And Guillermo's looking at his phone, and he's like, who are these 3 clowns? and then he's like, why do I have to care about them? And then he just got super defensive because he has no idea who the Beastie Boys are, doesn't care. And then in order to deflect his ignorance, yells at me because I grew up with the Beastie Boys, starts yelling at me about the idea that he doesn't know the Beastie Boys and that's not a cultural omission on his part. It's just that I'm an idiot.
That's one version of what happened. Here's another. You came in with a shirt that said illest, and I said, are you the illest? And then I said, wait a minute, why is there a VW logo on that shirt? And then I caught on to the fact that all this time VW's been paying you under the table to, sponsor their stuff.
Yeah, that's a heady play.
Dan Batard, favorite of lobbyist firms everywhere.
Yeah. And then you sent me a thing, and it was these 3 guys, and I'm like, why did Dan send this picture? I'm like, oh, because one of the guys has a big VW thing. I get it. And then Mike's like, that's the Beastie Boys, dummy. And I'm like, who cares? What do I need to know about the Beastie Boys for? Which I think is a fair point. What do I need to know about the Beastie Boys for?
Well, you say it as if it was of Dan's time, which it was, but it was also of your time. Everyone thinks that you might be like 24 years old because of your pop culture takes. You're 31. You're like my age.
I know, it's weird.
They were a part of our lives, too.
Let me go on record right now. The Beastie Boys mean nothing to me.
I understand. It's an important
That's on
thing.
the record.
Put it on the record.
Nice.
Get someone to notarize it. Put it on the record. It's been put on the record, so it has been said, so it has been done. It has been put on the record. But you have the pop culture savvy of someone who's 12.
I mean, just because I don't like the things you like doesn't mean I'm wrong.
No, it's that you just...
Talk to me about Wisin and Yandel. That's another thing. I can tell you about them.
I think the things that are important to us with pop culture are not important to Guillermo.
Exactly.
I mean, the Beastie Boys the height of the Beastie Boys was 80s and 90s, was it not?
I understand.
Yeah, but it's not an insult. We're just not taking you to trivia night, dude. Your pop culture savvy is something... I mean,
Trivia night is the worst. That's the last place that's like hell to me. Trivia night. A bunch of people sitting around at a table and a bar. I know more answers than you do about things that are obscure.
A bunch of people cheating, using their phones
That's
at these trivia nights, these people.
Yeah, cheaters.
Oh, yeah. The trivia host need
Battle
to
of
take
nerds.
control of the room.
Like those concerts
Trivia
where
night.
you can like zip up your cell phone, they should do that for trivia night.
Control the room. You know exactly who you are. How do you let the dude abides win every single time?
Beastie Boys started in 1979. I was -8 then.
Yeah, but what time did, Sabotage come out? You didn't watch MTV ever? Intergalactic?
No,
I remember them being on TRL. Like, I'm kind of with Billy on
but
this.
that was already like they were the old people on TRL. Like, who are these old men? That's what I remember
I'm
thinking
with
when
Billy
I saw them on
this.
TRL.
Beastie Boys, like, I know them as a popular hip-hop group, and I saw a couple of their videos, like, on TRL.
Yeah,
but that's
you're
about
probably,
it.
Chris, you're younger than Billy?
No, we're like
right?
we're
You're like
by a month.
You guys are both pretty bad.
The
when it
thing
comes to
with
pop
Billy is
culture.
weird.
Because I don't care about what you care about. I'm sorry, Dan.
Listen,
what should I care about? What
Guillermo,
music should I like?
you could care about.
Pardon me, Dan.
Guillermo, you could care about whatever you want to care
Doesn't
about.
seem like it.
But you're 31 years old, and when I'm consistently surprised by what you don't know in terms of pop culture, and it strikes me as the pop culture savvy of someone who's a young teen. Not because you don't know the things that I know, because you don't seem to know much of anything.
I'm sorry, Dan. I should know more what you're interested in. Pardon me. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
What do you think the centerpieces are going to look like at this?
There's going to be fireworks, obviously.
You guys see his registry?
Woof. No.
There was goldware, not even silver. It was goldware that he wanted.
I'm just going to give old money what he likes, cash, but I just don't know how much.
It's not nothing's not going to be
You're
enough.
going to insult him.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it doesn't matter what you said. Yeah.
Maybe just like a bunch of like AMC movie gift cards or something. I don't know what do you give the man who has everything, honestly?
Roy said yesterday, he's like, my gift is going to the wedding.
Yeah, I gave my money to these airplane tickets down.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Your presence is enough, yes. Your presence is your present, yes.
Wow, you're a writer. He beat me to that. He beat me to it.
Should have gotten the first
What
one.
else should I know about? By the way, Dan, let me save you. Don't say millennial. You're going to sound super old if you start calling people millennial. That's the worst.
Oh, millennials hate it when you call them millennials.
What is the poll question, Mike? It should
right now,
be
there's one poll question up, and that should Chris's friend Sia be our fantasy expert? And we haven't even gotten around to
Should
this.
Guillermo be ashamed that he doesn't know who the Beastie Boys are? How about that? Put that on the poll. Should Guillermo be ashamed?
I've seen of them.
Do I need to know how to ride a horse for this wedding?